Hello, and today something was kind of brought to my attention. I mean, technically it was a thing before, but I just didn't really think about it until now, and I felt that it might be kind of cool to talk about it for a little bit. So sit back, relax, and I'm pretty sure I said that before, but who cares, because we're talking about Labo VR and its uses in two different games so far. What's up, everyone? How are you? I'm sure everything's going really well, and I'm gonna stop doing this with my hands now because I keep doing this shit. So, what's going on with Labo VR, right? So apparently, Labo VR, you know, it's releasing soon. Hopefully by the time this video is out. I'm not really sure when Labo VR is coming out. I could be totally wrong. Might be soon. I don't care. Either way, I have no interest at all in Labo VR. If you are interested in it, that's cool, you know, no, all power to you, but I'm not really a VR guy myself. I didn't really jump into the VR craze on PC. I didn't jump on it when PlayStation went on it. And, you know, I'm not going to jump on it when Nintendo does it either. Although I will say that if there was going to be a time to jump on it, 40 bucks is pretty cheap to jump into it if you were interested in it, but I'm just not. Maybe it's because I've never tried it, but I don't know. I just don't care all that much. But what seems to be getting some people's attention, right, is that because, you know, originally it was just Labo. No one really cared all that much about Labo. That's for, you know, kids, that kind of thing, that demographic. So usually people of my age range don't care all too much about that. However, there was a update to Labo VR saying that both Super Mario Odyssey and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild will support VR, which was interesting. And to me, as someone who loves those games, I was a little bit intrigued. I was like, you know, not enough to be totally interested in VR as a whole, but I kind of wanted to see what they were doing with it and how they implemented VR to these games. And as far as I can tell, it doesn't look like much, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. It looks like Mario Odyssey gets like kind of like specific levels where it's almost like you're standing on top of this like elevated platform of sorts, and you use VR to look around and control Mario as he's running around like this area. It looks okay. It looks cool, you know, some new content in a way, right? You're doing new things, so I think that's cool because new levels and all that kind of stuff, new things to do. Even though it's in VR, I'm not really interested in VR. The fact that it's new content as a whole looks cool. So I'm a little bit more interested in that. I don't think I'll still be picking up a VR headset. I really don't care, but hey. However, if there was going to be something that would make me care, it would be Breath of the Wild in VR, because the idea of looking around that beautiful world is a bit more of an attractive idea to me. So before I actually saw the content for both of them, I was kind of more interested in seeing what Zelda was doing. And I was really disappointed, I'm going to be honest. This video is going to come off as me being really negative, and usually I'm not when it comes to Nintendo, because they're kind of my favorite of the, you know, of publishers and developers, but I'm just not a VR guy. So when I saw this, I was kind of hoping, like, somehow, did they make some kind of first-person Breath of the Wild, like, thing? No. No, they didn't. They just made it so that instead of controlling the camera with the right stick, you just kind of look around. It's still a third-person game, so that's weird. I don't understand the point necessarily. And I guess the other thing that also came to mind is that if you don't have a strap on your head the whole time, does this mean I literally have to be doing this with my Switch at all times playing Breath of the Wild? I'm not gonna play hundreds of hours worth of Breath of the Wild doing this with a Switch like to my face. I'd rather duct tape it. Like, duct tape the headset to my head, my forehead, and just like play. Like, obviously I'm joking. We're not actually gonna be doing that, but I just thought, like, the lack of a strap on it seems kind of like it defeats the purpose of long, you know, playtime. And the VR functionality of two of my favorite games on the system don't seem all that interesting. Like I said, I thought Zelda would be the more interesting one of the two, but it turns out when I looked at the actual content, that's not the case. Clearly, the Mario Odyssey one is better because it's actual new content. Well, Zelda, it's basically just camera controls, and that's it, which is not interesting in the slightest. I don't know. I guess, like, when it comes to the VR stuff, I'm just not in the demographic. Maybe it's something that is cool for some people, but I just thought like the whole pull of VR is to be immersed in what you're doing. So like a VR game based in an open world environment would be exciting because you get to look at everything and as if you're in it, right? But when it's done in this way, it kind of feels like it defeats the purpose because the immersion is no longer like the focal point, if you get what I mean. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys can totally let me know in the comments because I see an option that exists that hasn't been fully fleshed out yet. There's potential, you know, totally. Like if Nintendo wants to make something down the line, like I don't know, maybe Metroid Prime 4 can have VR support, and that VR support would probably be more exciting because that'll be a first-person game, right? And I understand why they wouldn't want to do something like that with Breath of the Wild because Breath of the Wild was not designed to be in first person, so it makes sense, you know. And God forbid they made first person in Mario Odyssey because you just get motion sickness the second you start jumping around. So I get why, you know. I just didn't. I don't know. I guess I expected more. I guess like all I'm trying to say is that in terms of the VR offerings now, Nintendo's not doing much, honestly. It hasn't changed my mind as someone who's not into VR, and I can't imagine people who are into VR being that excited for this. Although, I have seen some people be pretty excited for this, so I can't speak for everyone. Clearly, it does cater to some people, even if I think it's not exactly the most fleshed out version of it. But I guess for 40 bucks, you can't complain too much about a cheap alternative like that, especially when it's made out of cardboard mostly. But yeah, like I said, just let me know in the comments down below how you guys feel about it. Are you picking up Labo VR? If not, what do you feel about? How do you feel about, like, you know, Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild support? Does that make you more likely to pick up VR, or are you like me where you just still do not care? But you know, let me know in the comments down below. Like the video if you like it, dislike it if you disliked it, and oh yeah, make sure to follow me on Twitter and make sure you subscribe to the channel because I stream nearly daily, almost daily. I've been playing some Breath of the Wild and some Smash, so make sure you guys want to be around for that. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.